We got
great.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So,
yeah, exactly.
Red, orange, and yellow guy in here. Red, orange, and yellow, right? So that's the way I look in there. So, sorry, I know that this normally works with a bridal party, but that means I'm the hottest thing inside the video right now. Yes, I still use that joke. It still works. So we're looking for blue and black. We're looking for them to either take shape or to start moving on their own. When I say take shape, I want arms, shoulders, heads, shoulders, and toes. Thank you. That's where I was going, but it wasn't where I wanted to go. Heads and shoulders, arms and legs that are moving, if you guys are getting my point. Wow, you guys are going to really kill me all night long. Wow.
Really?
It is Saturday night, everybody.
Okay.
That's one of those boo hags they talked about.
Yeah. All right, so back to this guy. Are we going to find something with this every single night? Not necessarily, but this is a FLIR camera. This is what firemen would use to actually help save people. It's an attachment for a cell phone. So again, you will get this full video back. We're going to be doing a few starts and stops with this guy because as great as the hardware is, the software sucks. So again, you're going to be doing a few starts and stops. I'll always give you the cues. There's also a blue dot bouncing around your screen showing you where the coldest spot is in the frame at that particular moment. Our ambient temperature tonight is, I want to say, 74 degrees for us. So I'm going to be looking for 59 degrees and colder coming out of that blue spot. It's about a 15-degree temperature drop of what I look for. And now that you know that this is kind of a legit thing, I wanted to make sure you had something a little bit more aggressive than the SB7, which was used 10 years ago. With this guy, I'm going to go ahead and stop it. So, all right, now we're going to
Hey,
from here.
first YouTube video.
Here's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about, we had the name Jonathan show up on the word list, and then the word football was heard from the spirit box from the same two young ladies over there. They didn't realize that they each had a commonality between Big Johns. You guys are getting the point there. We did get all the way up to a 25 on Alan's device, so I'm pretty excited about that. And again, the average spike for this location is between 18 to 22 milligauss, if that kind of gives you an idea. So he went just above that. Deb's device only goes to 25, and she's already hit 25 several times. Nice. So I'm pretty good with that reading. Let me kind of explain what those EMF readings are around your house to kind of give you a basic idea. If you were to put Alan's device behind your TV, it's going to read about 40 to 60 milligauss. So that's how much electricity your TV puts on. So we got up to a 25, almost a little over half of what your TV puts on. So that kind of gives you an idea. A microwave heating up your food is 150 to 170. The highest we've ever seen Alan's device go in my 11 years of doing this has been at this location, 214 milligauss. Wow. We left.
Yeah, that's...
Very quickly. Let me explain why.
Little ghost throws a microwave at you.
There's too much electricity in the air for the guy with their neurological disorder. We got the hell out of here pretty quick. So I gave them the answers later. If you guys are getting my point. Which is why we use a lot more EMF detectors than even what I had last year. So we didn't get anything on the Envoy, so I'm not super excited about that. We did get a little bit of a 2 to a 3 roughly up in the corner. So for Megan's device, so again, a little bit of everything's going on here. But again, I'm wrapping this one up short. First off, a lot of cars in here and a lot of bigger cars, and we're a bigger group tonight. So I'm trying not to weird people out, not to mention I'm trying to get the hell away from those whatever weirdos those were earlier. Still freak. Why is the ghost hunter guy freaked out by strangers coming up to him?
By humans.
I know.
Oh my god!
We'll protect you, Nick.
Dude, I'm just like
What
with
is
a
that,
demon.
you're
I'm
breathing
chill. Then
air?
people come up here and I'm like,
So whenever I break out the tablet, I will always go around the room so that way you guys don't have to huddle up around me. So
Dude, I was freaking like in a scary basement with what might have been a demon. I'm just the most chill guy, but I'm at school and I'm like, am I gonna die?
I'm gonna go around. So I noticed I used her maiden name of Lucas. This is the second wife named Eliza from Charles. The first wife was named Eliza Lamb Pinkney. Wow. So Lamb and Lucas were the two names we were looking for out of those.
The iPad looks really cool on this.
I got first or second.
This is the
You
second.
see, it's kind of like a
She was
holographic
22
looking.
when she married Charles, who was 45. So kind of creepy to me because I'm close to Chuck's age and my oldest daughter is Eliza's age. So you can see where that's a creepy age gap for me, right? Some of you are looking at me like, yeah, there's no way you're almost 45 years old. I'm a granddad at this point.
Really?
But anyway, moving on. The mansion. We only had one person using the question of what happened to the mansion, but this is the only photograph of the mansion we actually have. So this is fire damage from the Great Fire of 1861. So when that actually happens, when we get the terms fire, burning, blaze, we will get 2 or 3 numbers out of the date of when that occurred. This happened on December 11th of 1861. That's 12/11/61. Very specific numbers. I will tell you, just the other night, we had the term fire coming out of Hannah's device. She wasn't here, but it was her device. And then when I'm going through the spot check, I capture the numbers 11 and then 61. Very specific numbers. So take that for what it's worth. There are nights where we have all three, 12, 11, 61, but that one just popped in my head because it was just a few nights ago. Every tour in town is going to tell you about a great fire. This is the one that actually took out the mansion. This is a map of Charleston. Kind of gives you an idea. Literally went from one side of the peninsula all the way to the other. So that's about $5 to $9 million worth of damage. That's a lot of fire. So why was the mansion still standing? We're talking about an indigo farmer and politicians. They had money. Their house was made of more material than just wood. So it didn't burn all the way to the ground. So, and plus the fire gets hotter as it continues to move. This is the beginning of the fire. It actually happened right up the road is where it started, came down this way, then went behind me, going to the other side. Kind of nutty, right? The children, we didn't bring up the children tonight, but I am going to touch base on them. And part of the reason why I didn't bring them up, and I won't for the entire rest of the month, is because the month of June is very devastating for Miss Eliza based on one of her children. So let me kind of touch base on all of these kids, just so you know what we're looking for here. 4 children grand total. I've already mentioned Charles. He was a Constitution signer, right? The next child I talk about is Thomas. He fought in a Revolutionary War battle. He was captured by the British after being shot in his left leg. After they released him, he was left on a cane the rest of his days. Any portrait you find of Thomas is of his right side to hide his left leg with a cane over his lap. We didn't get anything relative to Thomas tonight. I was too quick with this. Again, it was a matter of like, hey, 12 people, let me do one round robin and get us out of here. But you can kind of see what terms I look for when Thomas's name just does pop up. Next child is baby George. In June of 1747, he was born and he passed away.
Oh no.
Yes, very sad, indeed. However, a couple of weird things about George. First off, we don't know how old he was exactly. He could have been a few days old, could have been a few weeks old. Back in those days, the death certificate has the same month and year, no exact date. If my guess, he was named, which means he was christened. You wouldn't have named a baby back then until they were christened. So he's at least a few weeks old. Now, the other weird thing about George, he doesn't have a headstone or a grave. It's a great possibility that part of the religious practices back then would have allowed them to mummify this child and keep him right here in the home, waiting for the mother to pass away so he could be buried with her. Do not go home and Google mummied baby, by the way, and not expect a phone call from the government, because again, this is a religious practice. Now, with that said, it is my theory alone, and it's going to get even more weird when we talk about Eliza's death, but that is my theory and my theory alone. The next child, the last child actually, the only daughter, her name is Harriet. She married Daniel Ory. Why is that important to you guys? Myrtle Beach is Ory County. That's 2.5 hours north of here. Wouldn't have been a 2.5 hour car ride for Eliza. Lots of letter writing instead. So when we do hear from Harriet, very seldom that we do, we get terms like quill, ink, paper, published, anything relative to letter writing. So about once or twice a year we hear from her. I haven't heard from her yet this year, to be quite honest with you, and we're already halfway through the year. Eliza's death. So those were some questions that 2 of you were actually asking. Eliza was 70 years old when she passed away in 1793. First, let me point out to the younger people in the group, that's a long time for a woman to be alive during the 1700s.
Anyway.
So, well, these days, right?
Well, now, wait a minute. Some of us
I'm sorry, in the 1700s. That's what I meant. Sorry. not now.
Good save.
Okay.
Yeah. That is what I meant, Daniel.
Now, she was going to Philadelphia getting treatments for whatever they thought she had. It turned out to be breast cancer.
Oh.
We didn't know what breast cancer was in 1793. We're going based off her medical records today. So, a couple of weird things about being in Philadelphia. She died in Philly, and she's buried in Philly. So if she's up there, what are we doing down here? I don't take you to actual cemeteries. It's minimal activity at best. I do this 7 nights a week, folks. I need you guys to actually see actual activity going on for guys like Gage and Jacob that do that, like want to see how this actually works. Again, it's minimal activity because people don't hang out near their headstones when they're gone. They go to their mansions 400 miles away, which is exactly why you're in a full parking lot.
Yeah, they go to where they're.
So
they go to where they were happy.
The other question that should be in the back of your brain should be Baby George. If my theory is true, they would have taken him by horse and carriage from here all the way to Philadelphia to be buried next to Mom. We have
Liberty Bell?
Whoa.
You have Bell?
Yeah.
Let's
Ooh.
So,
yeah.
as soon as I bring that up, right?
Well, I got all the way up to orange.
Well, yours
Yeah.
doesn't go as high as his does.
No, I know.
So he's got a 28.7, and I'm pretty happy with the word Bell coming out of that.
Wow.
What's going on with the red lights over there? Did Marty McFly just land?
Yes.
Nice. So the other weird thing about Eliza's death, I'm going to throw back at you guys. Who wants to take a guess who the president was that was the pallbearer at Eliza's funeral?
Hayes.
1793.
George Washington.
It was George Washington. How did you figure that out? Okay. It's a good thing he doesn't have a spirit box. Normally, anybody that gives me that answer with a spirit box, I take it from him. Here's why. When we got over here, I tell you all, I'm not going to give you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse. The reason I do that is I subliminally put George Washington in the back of all of your brains to see who's going to give me the answer when I'm actually out doing the round robins with everybody. The fact that he doesn't have a spirit box, normally if it was, say Hannah, I would actually take it from her and say, all right, it's going to go to somebody else because I don't want you guys just repeating everything I've already said, if that makes sense. The rest of you pass with a fail. Alan, you probably figured that out by the year, so kudos to you. So we all pass with a fail at that point. So again, I usually do that on purpose every single night just so I know who I'm working with. So if I normally hand, teenager spirit boxes, they normally repeat everything I say. No offense, guys, but they normally do. You guys get my gist. So the next space we're going to, a little bit more away from the weirdos tonight. We're going to be going up to an alley, and we're gonna actually exit the lot the way we came in and go up this way, so that way we can stay on some nice steady ground away from the gravel from Miss Deb. Is everybody good with that? Now the alley, a couple of things along the way there. We're not going to be recording any video along the way. We don't want to recreate the Blair Witch Project in between spaces, so you will stop your video.
Jacob, that means.
I'm just going to give you the. So keep in mind, other tours do come through here. So they either come out of that ivy wall, or when people are walking through here, you don't have cameras. So Gage, with yours, you might want to grab that top handle already, even though it's on record, and just lower it like it's a suitcase like you had it before. You got it. Nice and inconspicuous. There you go. Perfect. All right, so yours is already recording. Perfect.
We didn't come over here last time. We stood across the street. I think you said you got in trouble or
I
something.
did. We're going to get into that.
Oh gosh.
I think in trouble. Alright, so we're not going to go into the full depths that I've actually been going. We're going to actually go all the way down there. Alright, I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Some of these steps are a little long. So EMF detectors. You can ignore in between spaces, and in this location, your baseline for you is probably going to be a 3. So all of the other ones is going to be about a 7. So and that's because of the lampposts near us. There's electrical poles, tight spaces, buildings, you get it. So not excited about your 2 yet. So anybody hear anything along the way here?
Just James.
Just James.
James, we heard leaving
James.
the other parking lot. We heard twice, like because I love him, the same like song there, and
Just
then
what we were talking about.
nothing like super.
Anything on the word list? Okay. Give me the last 3 terms you've had.
Manual ledge. Oh my goodness, I did not see
Decapitated?
decapitated. I didn't even see that when it came up.
That's not important. That's not important. Hey, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
So,
Yeah,
my point exactly, right?
Yeah, but also, when we were walking, like when I was talking to you, you know how like to tell you if like you felt weird? You know that feeling where you just feel very heavy, you don't know why?
Yes.
Yeah, so like I just felt that out of the blue.
Yep. And it's the Picnic Mansion will do that because there's a lot going on. There really is. And to the, what I'm saying is proving my point. The conversation Jacob and I had along the way here was he was talking about like some of the apps and the things like that. And he's like, "What do you do when it says like, please leave or go away?" And I'm like, you have to remember that these apps are designed to scare you. So that's why 80% of it is gonna be garbage. So words like decapitated, like that's why I kind of like did the throat thing. I didn't mean to like chop it.
Decapitated.
It worked.
It did work,
It
but
did work.
but the whole point is like it's stuff like that. I just throw it away.
Yeah.
I leave it in there just because you guys are gonna get the full list back. Because what do I know? You guys might have actually had somebody in your ancestry that was decapitated and they're following you around. I don't know that. But it does occur. So when you guys get a name, like for example, you guys heard the name James, and you're like, oh, my cousin's name is James. The first question I'm going to ask you is James with us? It's not being rude. It's me being bold based on my occupation.
Yeah.
I kind of need to know, like, do you have a cousin following you around that's no longer here? If that makes sense. So we're going to break for puppies. Come on through, man. You're good. We always break for puppies. Puppy for sure.
This is mine too, I know.
We were in the Savannah Theater and definitely felt that heaviness that you were talking about.
Yeah, but it was only one room that was really going nuts. It was that like one.
The dressing room.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
so
getting
that
out of
room was
numbers all
going
of a sudden.
crazy.
At Zorro Wheat House,
numbers
I'm only
real quick
for
before I
mine
get
all
started?
over from disease.
I heard 1, 4, 2, not necessarily in that order, but like a lot of just different. It was different numbers from different things.
Let me know if you hear a specific number twice. Like,
Okay.
So that's kind of the irony of this location. So welcome to Philadelphia Alley. So every ghost tour comes down here. We're not going down tours as I normally do. And yes, I did get kicked out of here. We're going to talk about that. But this used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is
Whoa,
where
so
some of the
heavy,
duels
guys.
used to occur.
Whoa.
for the city of Charleston.
That feels funky.
So with that, every ghost tour that comes down here tells you the exact same story. We're not doing campfire marshmallow. I'm going to tell you the same story, but I'm going to give you more details. So let's kind of get into it. There was a doctor that lived, he came to Charleston. His name was Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you that are still listening in on your spirit boxes, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it all the time, if you kind of get my gist of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, he moves down here from Rhode Island, and he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. So she has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow that she just got, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. He tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. Dr. Ladd comes to Charleston to prove that he's not. So on his way into town, he was all set to go. He's going to come down here, and you guys get my point. He's going to start his practice here. The coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his day in Charleston. Somebody was walking by and seen everything that was about to happen. His name was Ralph Isaacs. Here's where I stop. Ralph Isaacs has the same initials as where the doctor came from, R.I. On your red spirit boxes that you two were listening to, we were getting the letters R.I. all the time. To verify that, I bought the Ouija board device to make sure what we were getting was a legitimate letter sequence. I can't tell you how many times it's actually been that we've gotten the letters R.I. on the Ouija board device when I'm telling this part of the history. Which, by the way, when other tourists do come down here, we just kind of split the seas and let them go through. But anyway, what's funny was last night we had a young lady hear the word art and then I immediately after it on a spirit box. So preemptively on the way here. Very interesting indeed. But anyway, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. I got some friends there. You can rent a room. You'll be safe and good to go. Doctor took him up on the offer. They became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, they become friends. He's making more money. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. So he becomes known as the Whistling Doctor because Amanda's coming down soon, so that way they can get married. Men whistled all the time in the 1780s. It was just his MO. Here's what I'm going to tell you about whistling ghosts. Every haunted city you will ever visit has one, including us. So there is proof of this one. Hopefully we'll capture it tonight to prove it to you, but otherwise you're going to have to take my word for it. Let's move on. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So they talk about these plays on the way home. They go see Richard III from Shakespeare one night. They're arguing over the new actress on the way home. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. They go their separate ways after the argument gets really ugly. Told you Ralph has friends around town. He goes to see his friends at the newspaper. He puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of Dr. Ladd. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society, slap slap with a glove, right? So, yeah, I just added that glove part. That seems to be working. But anyway, with that said, doctor saw the ad rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. So they come down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up, which is often what happens at a duel. Ralph has his one bullet, puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doesn't kill him, but he proved his point. He's still pissed off. Yeah. Doctor falls to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment on November 2nd of 1786. Why did he refuse medical treatment? It's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then. He probably just tried to bleed out the bullet wound himself with the lead poisoning. So if you're getting my point. Every ghost tour that comes down here will tell you to listen for the whistles. Nice for you guys. We have 3 video cameras and my voice recorder running. If there's going to be a whistle down here, you don't have to manually do the work. We got instruments to do that for us. If you're going to come all the way through the alley, which I can't take you all the way to the end because that's why I got booted out, right, Hannah? And turn on your voice recorders and wait for the whistles in the background and listen to it later. Just keep in mind, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street will throw a whistle down the alley. Yep. So, ever since I did get booted out of here is when I started really throwing the whistles down the alley. Here's how this goes. About where we're standing, maybe a little bit further over, there was a wall here, and the alley was open that way. So the reason why is because this was where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. The bricks on the other side are older than the bricks we're standing on. These are new. These are relatively within the past 100, 150 years. Those over there, way older. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child at the end of this alley, along with some fingerprint swipes. I used to take my groups all the way through here when I first started doing this to kind of show off the history because we all need to see it. It's one of those pieces to show off how far we've come away from slavery. You get the point. However, November 26th of 2020, my entire group is huddled around that brick. waiting for something to happen out of the devices that I handed out that night. It's a full group of 10. Yeah. I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid's not there. That's the last place you're going to find him, right? So I'm also trying to be respectful because it's right outside the kitchen window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I didn't know I was out of bounds. The new owner of the mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at. Yeah. The next day was Thanksgiving because we just moved on after that. We just rolled with it. And we finished off our tour. Thanksgiving, I don't tour simply because I worked in retail management for over 20 years, mainly for Walmart. You guys can get my point. I'm never working another Thanksgiving a day in my life.
Yeah.
The day after that was November 28th. The dates are relevant. I called my partner that I had at the time, which is actually who you two contacted this morning. My old partner. I don't work with him anymore. But anyway, I got a hold of him and I kind of told him what was going on, like what happened the night before. And he said, dude, you can't go down that far. You're only allowed to go down halfway. Otherwise, you got to reroute the group. So I told my group that night, I don't believe in the next story because I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. Obviously, we're talking pirates next, by the way. And we're going to see what happens. We're going to wing it. Tickets were way cheaper back then when I could just wing it. So before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I didn't tell them who we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate Anne Bonny. So I went, okay, maybe we got something. We go around the corner. I tell what little bit I did know about piracy. Somebody else with a spirit box. Here's the number 300. I don't know what that means. I write it down. I research it the next day. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. The exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. Well, yeah, you guys all have like your jaws on the ground.
Wait, don't whistle.
I went, shit.
Yeah, I'm
Now
just
I
saying
gotta
that right
learn
now,
about
so now
pirates.
it's like
Here's my
the
problem
voice
with
recorder
pirates.
doesn't like get screwed
Master's
up.
degree in creative writing, everybody. Bachelor's in English and journalism. So again, writing and factual data is important to me. So going through pirate lore to make sure I have a factual investigation is difficult. Half my freaking library right now is pirate books. I'm playing video games on pirates. I'm watching documentaries on pirates. I want as many version of the story as I can possibly get. Everything we're going to discuss at the next location, minimum of 2 resources from every sentence that comes out of my mouth. So just to make sure we are as close as possible. I'm also not going to be handing out questions. I'll give you a few things that I left out on purpose, just so you have something to work with. Everything else is fair game. Also, hope in mind that we're going to get things from this alley. We're not staying here to spread out and going to piss off the neighbor down the road, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go up and around the corner. Other tours may be up there. We're going to stay out of their way. We're going to get Deb a place to sit. Like, we're going to go up to a ledge if it's free and open and no other tours are up there, so she can actually sit down and work over there. And then the rest of us will be able to spread out, and we'll spend a little bit of time in there, more so than what we did at the Pinckney Mansion site. Is that fair?
So are we at least going to get a whistle before we leave here?
From me?
From anybody, sure.
Well, here's the weird thing about the whistles.
Yeah.
So not only can it come up audibly, like an actual whistle, the spirit boxes that are going on right now, we will get the word whistle. We will have a whistle from a commercial or a song, and then the word doctor that will come right after it on another spirit box. It's the craziest thing. We've had whistling parts to
Whoa.
songs.
I bought a ship.
Newfangled technology.
Told you, bleed over.
That's our whistle.
Love it.
Oh god.
Did
It
you
was
guys
like
hear
a
it?
whistle
What she
of
just
like
heard?
a
Yeah.
200-year-old
I bought
man
a
that's like
ship.
somehow
We're about
still
to go
alive.
discuss
Like,
pirates.
What? Oh my.
is that a whistle say? I've been smoking since the day I was born.
Just like just coming out as a blunt.
Oh god.
I have to tell you something else.
Yeah, what's funny is like for ELA, you need to write an essay. It's like one source. You're going ghost hunting. I write an entire Google Doc about those things.
I tell this part of the story every night, so
It's all about the motivation.
doesn't know it. I also want you guys to kind of
Glad
keep
the
in mind,
topic will do that.
especially
Yeah.
Hannah and Matt. I know you guys have heard this story before, but later on, things might occur with Dr. Ladd again. It's real, so just kind of keep in mind the address of where he lives, because the last stop you guys haven't seen yet, so that's going to be very interesting for you guys as well. So let's go up and learn about some rated R pirates. I told you I had punnies all night long.
I'm guessing camera off now?
Smash the like button.
Have a seat. So, welcome to the Powder Magazine, everybody. Anything weird going on with your devices? They kind of already gave me a name. 2.5 and higher.
2.6.
At this low, is it staying at 2.6?
2.5. 2.6.
There's an electrical pole right behind it. So normally with the EMF detection, it's usually on the back half of this location. Anything up here is from the front meter and or the electrical pole. So I would say anywhere up to probably a 5 or 7 in these corners.
That's the light.
Is kind of like irrelevant. Everything else I'll take is fair game. Let's see. What else do we have going on here? Anything else going on with your devices, spirit boxes, Ouija board?
This first thing said GP for good power.
No.
Great power.
This is KMQ.
KMQ.
It's GP KMQ.
That's a great title for a new business.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I already got
Welcome
my
to the Powder
business.
Magazine.
Right.
So,
Little
this
nerd
is a
paranormal.
museum now. It actually served in 7 different wars. It's the building behind me, by the way, which
Yeah.
those are not crosses.
Surprised
on that
it wasn't
building.
taken.
Those
But
are
hey, now I
earthquake
took it.
bolts. For those of you that are not familiar with what earthquake bolts are, they're basically turnbuckles. So if we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, you tighten them, and it tightens the building up so we don't incur any further damage on the building. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work.
Hey, you know what it does do? It makes demons walk the other way.
So,
Hopefully. The demon's like,
so
is
does
that a
the
church?
buddy? So,
And the demon's like, hey, you know it's a church? Hey, oh wait, this is right so away. I can just chill here.
So with those earthquake bolts, the reason I bring those up is because it's part of the reason why we're
Oh
here.
God.
Those, even though they didn't work, were the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. You see them all over town. But the reason they put them in here first is because this is the oldest government building in South Carolina.
This is the
It was
gunpowder
finished in
thing?
1713. We are here because this building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny came here to start a new life. It is what I call a familiar. For those of you that watch the TV shows or don't watch the TV shows, even that matter, they use a teddy bear device that has a bunch of little gadgets built into
Oh,
it
yeah,
to
that
try
one.
to
It's a Boo
attract
Buddy.
children ghosts.
The Boo Buddy.
They do that on purpose because it's familiar to the child. Same principle. This is just something Anne would recognize. Again, we don't have many buildings this old, and it is in one of the places where we are actually allowed to tour and kind of spread out a little bit. So, the hope here is that we're going to be here at the same time that Anne Bonny's here. So let's kind of get into her story. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like a government, small building, 10 years? I'm sorry if somebody works for the government here, but again, 10 years sounds about right. But at any rate, the story begins right in the middle of its construction, 1708. Try to follow me. There's a lot of twists here.
Whoa.
I think something's going on.
Hopefully there's no more ghosts joining us. That would not be good.
You're wondering. But anyway, so 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormack. She comes here with her father and his mistress. By the way, and the mistress is her mom. Are you guys with me so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, figured. I thought I'd slow down there a little bit. The three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How mad was she that they had to leave Ireland by boat? There's no planes, guys. It's 1708. So you came here with your lady, be nice to her. She'll take care of the damn country, right? But anyway, with that, they buy a plantation in Georgetown. That's where they landed. That's between us and Myrtle Beach. Dad bought a plantation, Mom died quickly. That means he's sending young Anne down here to sell anything from that plantation to keep things afloat. Now, that's why we're here, the familiar building. Back home in Ireland, Anne is said to be a badass even back home in Ireland. They say at the age of 7, 8, 9 years old, she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. So, I say, because she was a badass. And that's what she did.
Just Arnold here smoking a cigar, throwing it at a child.
We'll take it. PIT, right?
Yeah.
What's funny is I think we had PIT here last night. Like,
Oh my god, that's funny.
Wow. That is so funny. Hired and training. And we didn't put it together last night. Sorry. You should have been here last night. But anyway, but we're going to fast forward a little bit. This building was finished. Do you have the name Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens too. I'll explain in a minute.
Charles.
You're really coming out tonight. 1713, the building's done. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love, so she's going to earn her freedom, just like a man. That's part of the reason. By the way, there's a bunch of these guys. We're going to go through them because that's what makes the story interesting. So first guy she falls in love with is James Bonny. So you guys already see where this one's going. We already know her pirate name. Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormack became Anne Bonny. That's where the pirate name comes from. When they get down there, she realizes that her new husband, James, is not Captain Jack Sparrow, like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. This is not who she wants. He's a coward, right? A few years go by, she falls in love again. Guy number 2. This is John Rackham. So we heard
But
this
you're
is
still
John.
married to the first one.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, I love how inquisitive this young lady is. Everybody. She's probably the first person in 3 years that actually asked me that question, so I love it. But anyway, she's correct. She's still married. She falls in love again, though. John Rackham, they call him Calico Jack. This is the guy they base your Johnny Depp character off of. In case you were wondering who this guy is.
Got Jack Sparrow.
Yep. So, Jack has his own crew, he has his own ship. Anne wants to be part of that crew. You can't put a female on a pirate crew because it's bad luck. So, I'm going to normally throw that question back to you. you guys, but I figured I'd get some really raunchy answers, and I'm trying to keep it family friendly tonight. So it happens. But anyway, it's bad luck. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, then you can actually be part of the crew. She's okay with this. Why? Because Dad used to cross-dress her back home in Ireland to keep her away from his wife. Like she was dressed as a boy. Together, she's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a female. So, and then they're going to get rid of Jack as captain. You're getting the point. He drops her off in Cuba before she starts the show. Have the baby in Cuba. These are friends of mine. Come back later and we'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no baby. I have no idea what happened to this child. All the reading I've ever done about piracy and Anne Bonny, no answers. So,
Good stew.
the other part of this is that she comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry. Now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship. While she was gone giving birth, he captured another pirate crew from down below deck. She's going to go flirting with that pirate crew to make him even more mad, because that's who she is. Now, we're on guy number 3, in case you lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured.
Again?
Now we have 2 females, dressed like males, on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure, but the British find out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to take down one pirate ship. Anne and Mary are the rumor, the only 2 pirates. They came up and fight with their 1-bullet flintlocks. The other crew is basically drunk, and they won't come up and fight. So they have 1-bullet flintlocks against the whole fleet of English ships. That's not going to work out very well. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, she looks at her captain, Calico Jack, says, "I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up a lot on your spirit boxes, by the way. The judge wants to see the 2 men that fought back on their own so violently. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front. They reveal their gender. They're hoping to save themselves. The judge doesn't give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them.
Yeah.
So, we plead our bellies was the last thing they shouted out, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he sends them both back to jail. Delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina. He has all of his Irish money because he was an attorney back home. He bails out Anne only, brings her back home up here in South Carolina. She remarried. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary. We don't really know. Yeah. And then she has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84.
Wow.
Yeah, very abrupt.
That's amazing.
Yeah, 84 in the 1700s, right? We already talked about Eliza at the age of 70. Now we're talking about Anne. Yeah, 1782. Now, nobody even asked about Mary Reed.
Yeah, what happened to her? Tell us about
5 months later, she dies in whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. We don't know if she was really pregnant. Most books will tell you that it was fever. I say bullshit. Probably it's romanticism, and let's call it scurvy. Why not? So it was probably something very gross in a Jamaican jail, in a pirate jail, no less. So here's what I left out of this whole piece of history for you guys. Which, by the way, let me explain the Charles piece. Charles Pinkney, the husband of Eliza, is buried across the street. A lot of times he will introduce himself, and then he will tell us something specific about his second wife, even though the first wife is the one buried across the street along with him. So it's weird. So we have the introduction of Charles. We will normally get something that you guys don't know about. Kind of weird thing. So you literally have to tell me what's going on with your devices. So here's the things I left out of the pirate story. Again, 15 stories in this whole corner. Sometimes it's a bad thing to know all 15 stories, because then you're like, oh shit, what's going on? But anyway, I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the father and the mistress. I left those out on purpose. You can ask her what those are. You can ask the name of Calico Jack's ship. She may tell you that. You can ask what city she grew up in Ireland. That's an interesting one, and we've been getting that one more and more. The color of her hair. Obviously, that's an easy one. That's red, right? So this is not a prominent English woman where we need to tiptoe around because it's a certain month. This is a pirate kick-ass chick. Poke the bear a little bit. Let's get some answers out of her. We're going to spend probably about 10 to 15 minutes here. I'll be doing a few round robins and kind of seeing what's going on with your devices. If other tours are going to pass through here, just stay out of their way. They usually just cut through, or they'll go right up in that area, say their spiel about the Power magazine, and move on. So again, you guys get the gist with video cameras. I think we have, what, 1 car in here? If that one person goes to that car, do not film them going to their car. You guys get the point. Let's have some fun. Let's spread out. EMF detectors. Well, I know the 2 of you are going to kind of hang out here.
Yeah, so I grew up in a haunted house.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like when I was like super little too. Like, you know when you're little and you just normalize everything, and then you just forget everything.
Yeah, that's kind of how my life went too, except I wasn't haunted.
Yeah. So apparently, in like my old house, same time my mom talked about it, being my mom, she's funny. She made up a name for like just weirdly like dark feeling areas like around the property. She called it Troll Nuggets, because why not? It's my mom. And she's funny. But my dad like said that apparently like there have been nights where he'd walk in my room and like a good parent, when I'm just like talking to someone that's not there, he again like a good parent be like, "Hey bud, who are you talking to?" And on numerous occasions I allegedly said something along the lines of the nice man that died in a car accident on the street. Which is that's something. And again, my grandparents, like everywhere they've like ever lived is haunted in some way. And yeah, their new house that they just moved into, their dog keeps getting locked in one room when they're not home. So that's another thing. And I'm sleeping in that room. And good for me.
You're gonna get killed one day.
One of these days, but there's only one person that has, on government record, died to a ghost.
Really?
John Bell. Did you know President Andrew Jackson? Yep, the Bell Witch. That place. Him and Kobe went there. The one with the cave? Yep, that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That too, but also the fact that Bell came up on the spirit box.
Well, that
Okay, yeah.
yeah, that's like hearing Sally and immediately thinking of Sally House.
Okay, that's kind of.
Yeah.
Well, once again, I guess I do say random stuff.
Yeah.
He said 80% of it was BS. He said everything.
Yeah.
So.
The whole thing is, I'm trying to make a YouTube channel where it's like ghost hunting with all like the scares, all the info. Like I'm gonna try and tone down some of the more like vulgar words. So it's like I'm not gonna start saying inappropriate stuff. I'm not just gonna out of nowhere like just like say anything inappropriate. But it's like if there's something in the story, I'm gonna refrain from using like the bad word terms with like more scientific terms or stuff like that. So it's like I'm trying to make more kid-friendly ghost hunting. It's still ghost hunting, but just no cursing.
That could get you the audience. What's your channel name?
Nerd Paranormal. I literally changed it last minute because it's hard to think of an acronym. Like seriously, I stayed up late like using like an acronym checker trying to find something that wasn't taken, and I was like, wait a minute. Instead of finding words and turning it into an acronym, just take a word, turn it into an acronym. I was like, okay, what's a word that's simple, memorable, and explains everything that's going to happen on the channel in one word?
Nerd Paranormal.
Nerd.
Just nerd.
Just nerd.
Nerd Paranormal, that's it?
Yep.
No numbers, just Nerd Paranormal?
Nerd Paranormal, that, again. There's like one channel that's been like 7 years ago, no videos, looks inactive, that has like the same name. But like, at that point, how many Mr. Beast channels are out there with the same name?
Mr. Beast Gaming 111. Like those bots accounts are like,
oh my.
You win, you get $1 million, just give me your credit card.
You know what's worse? Like those, like they're annoying, but I don't really care. You know what I hate more? They got the inappropriate bots. Like I go to like a kids YouTuber because like, you know, I still watch kids YouTubers, why not? Like it makes me happy, I don't care. But like I'm watching, remember Unspeakable? Like I'm watching like Unspeakable videos.
Childhood.
Yeah, his videos completely changed. Like I once, like he's more of just like kind of clickbaity now. It makes me sad. Shark is kind of just repetitive. Preston, he's getting a bit more sussy. I don't know. He's making some more nut jokes. I don't know. Yeah, but one of them's like only in it for the money. It's kind of sad. Yeah, so all the kids YouTubers, but like you go to like the channels, it's only the big channels, and kids YouTubers are the biggest ones. So it kind of goes a lot to kids channels. And you go to the comments, like I leave a comment like saying cool or just like anything about the video, you know. And then there's like all of these bots like tap profile, it's like not good stuff. Then it's like this half naked person on the thing. And I'm like, what the frick? Anyone that like no one uses YouTube Kids. So all these kids are on like their mom's phone, like commenting random crap, like Unspeakable, give me a shout out, please. My name's Jiff, or like I don't know. But then they look in the comments, they're like, Mom, why is there a naked lady in the comment section? And half the problem is, it's actually kind of smart the way they do it. They have like an algorithm that copies approved comments. So like it used to just be like some kind of random comment like tap this link, blah blah blah. It's actually the comment like a blank profile. Now the profile sucks because you can't report the comment if it's a normal comment, it's just a profile. But it's a normal comment. There was only one time where there was like bots, but the video only had a couple comments at a time, where the dude was like, "Hey bro, why'd you copy my comment?" That was the only time I saw that. Hey.
Hey. What you get?
Nothing yet.
Yeah, I got you.
I got scared for a minute because I caught my shadow and it was moving around and I was so scared.
Well, actually, point at the shadow. Let's see if it does anything.
It does.
Oh, that's actually really nice.
It's really scary though because I wasn't paying attention while talking to you and I just saw a stick figure on the ground.
That's fair. That is completely fair.
You know, like you're just like completely looking away.
Oh,
It's
God.
like completely looking away.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording.
Okay, so either way, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so that's a great thing with recording stuff. Pappy, stop it. Okay.
I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, he was just like making like whoa, like goofy ghost noises.
Well, the goofiest one is just boo.
Yeah, originally I wanted to do like all the ghost thing in the Ghostbusters like flight suit, and then I was like, okay, that's gonna be stupid hot. So I tried to find, okay, what kind of jacket resembles Ghostbusters? So then I got a khaki one, put like the name tag and the logo on it. It's super nice, but I'm like, okay, I want something unique, so it's the same type of jacket, just like the Ghostbusters 2 charcoal gray. Gonna get a patch with my logo put on here, gonna put his name tag, just says nerd. So, yeah, it's gonna be nice.
How many subs do you have?
I haven't even made the thing, I just gave it a shout on my gaming channel. I got like 2,000 subs on my gaming one. It's going pretty good, just the same format, just with Minecraft, just like no cussing, just fun Minecraft. Made a Let's Play. It's doing pretty good. Again, 2,000 subs on that one, gave it a shout out. I have like 20 subs, I haven't even posted anything on it.
I did have a music YouTube channel, you know, guitar shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And
What do you play? You play guitar?
Yeah. I make a lot of songs, I just don't upload them because I'm lazy.
You know, honestly, I'm self-taught on piano, so I'm doing pretty good with that. You listen to Queen?
Oh, heck yeah, they're like
Yes. Yes.
my favorite band member?
Yes, Freddie. He's a singer. It's Freddie.
Oh, hey,
And honestly, I'm also in chorus, so it's nice to play piano and sing.
I can't sing.
So I used to have like the 5-year-old kind of like screechy singing voice.
Uh-huh.
Like 5-year-old me singing the Spider-Man theme song, feeling so confident. Imagine that. But now I'm in chorus and I'm like, wow. Sometimes I sing like stupid low, sometimes I sing stupid high. It just depends on the mood. He got scared. He caught his shadow on it. Like,
Oh yeah, it's an absence of light, so it's
Yeah.
gonna pick up your shadow every time because it thinks it's in front of something else. Does that make sense now?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah. Welcome
Yes.
to science.
yeah, science.
Not anything crazy that you can see.
I thought summer got you out of school. Jeez.
Honestly, science is the one thing that's like all this stuff, like Ghostbusters especially. Science is my best thing, and thank you God, Ghostbusters, for helping me do science.
It's like ghost science.
Like, I'm watching all this like ghost stuff. I read a book on the plane here. It's just called How to Hunt Ghosts. It's the most like stupid name. But then like I read the book and I'm like, Jesus, this getting into physics of it. This is what I like. He was getting into muons. He was getting like charged ions, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the stuff I like researching on my own time. Now you're telling me there's ghost stuff with it? And oh, heavy again. Oh, that's funky. Ugh. Might just be the jacket, but that would be like all of it.
Take your jacket off.
Yeah, it's the staple, you know. You gotta. Yeah. Do you play Minecraft?
I used to, but I kind of quit because
Yeah.
I was focusing more on school.
Hey, here's the thing. You gotta just be so good that you can do school and Minecraft. Dude, I miss a point in my life where I used to come home every day. I play Minecraft for like 8 to 10 hours, like on weekends with my friends. Like I'd be on like a Kindle with like my mom's computer, like on a Zoom call, and then I get a computer and like Discord and all that, and then my friends don't do anymore. So it's like timing.
You spend all that time downloading stuff, and then they're like, never mind, go play something else.
No, only if I was a YouTuber then, because I would have like seriously, like we used to do like the stupidest crap. Like I built like a replica of a Boeing 737. Like in Minecraft, I used like a book for it, like one of those off-brand Minecraft building books, like from like the school Scholastic book fair.
Oh God, one
Yeah.
of those.
Honestly, they're good though. It's like some of them suck, but the good ones are really good.
So when they're bad, they're really bad. But when
Yep.
they're good, they're really good.
Yeah, there's no one who's one who does.
I got one book that was really boring. That was about some guy slaying the Ender Dragon, but it was like a story of it.
Just play the game. Guys, what'd you do?
Oh,
We got sign? What'd you guys get?
18 it down.
do I stop the recording?
You know what's funny is nobody knew anything from anybody else.
Yeah.
Nobody had anything.
Nobody. Interesting. So she's not here today.
Spirits
I just had the number 80.
GTVIS.
Got this?
Yeah. So you're just gonna like rip it.
Is that just
Not
a
like there's a
line?
tab.
It said look for the different, the blue temperature.
Okay.
Check it out your YouTube, man. Come on.
So if it's below 50, that's when it matters?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
I'm not saying much on here.
Oh, you're good. Oh, then he wants you to hold it on them the whole time.
There we go.
Still don't put anything on yet.
Okay, sorry.
A couple of things. Everybody needs to listen up, so let's kind of show how this is going to go. We're going to stay pretty close knit around you. I'm going to be watching your breathing, all three of you, to make sure nobody's hyperventilating, doing anything crazy. In the event we need to tap you out, which we're going to be tapping you out, it's just like freaking out over here.
She's just like, what the
We
hell
have
do
to
we
tap
do?
you out at 10 minutes anyway. A family member is going to tap you on the leg, so that's what that tap there means.
Yeah, my grandpa, he grabbed me in the neck last time.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
No more neck.
I will tell you that if you are too loud, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, sure.
You're going to get a tap on the shoulder, which means whisper. We can hear you.
Got it.
Okay. So again, we're going to be filming the entire thing for you. In the event you're not speaking loud enough, we'll probably pull an earmuff off and say a little louder, kind of thing. So kind of get used to that. 10 minutes is all going to be, keeping you under for. It's okay to also answer in yes/no format. You have no idea what I'm going to be asking, so if you hear a yes/no answer coming through your spirit boxes, you're going to tell me that you heard a yes/no answer. Speak in real time. You need to, what we're looking for here is a real-time response. If I ask, is there a tree right there, I'm expecting a yes. Right then, not for you to remember, like, I heard a yes 6 minutes ago kind of mentality. Speak in real time.
So
Most people forget about
as
that.
I understand, you're asking us questions, we are just telling you, well,
You want your
Somebody will be
yeah, we're not
talking at
gonna,
the same time.
okay,
Right.
gotcha.
Yeah. That's why we film everything. So that way, in case we miss something, I can see like, oh, all three of you said something at the exact same time. It might not be the exact same thing. You're getting my point. So if something gets missed, we have it on video, and my voice recorder on the bag is still relatively close by. I also don't take notes during this unless, of course, it is going to be of relevance later on, and I rewatch the whole video of just this portion. Speaking of which, let me see your spirit box. You have the recordable one, right?
Yes.
So we're going to stop your recording at this point and start a fresh one. So that way it's separated in your data tomorrow morning, so that way you can go straight to it if you want to go straight to the other so by itself. So that way I know when it stopped and started. Alright, so I think that about covers everything. So again, this is the only part of our night that I actually time. I know I kind of rushed us along to get things started, but we were all a little rambunctious to get started, and yet we started really, really late. So I was like, oh yeah, and we attracted all the weirdos. Alright, so it's blindfolds first.
No wire.
There's not supposed to be a wire on that. They're noise canceling headphones. So you're going to put blindfolds first, then your earbuds that are attached to the spirit box, and then I'm going to put these noise canceling headphones over those.
Okay, that makes sense.
Does that make sense now?
We should check. We should try to call their names to see if they can hear
Kate, you
me.
might actually have to help her out.
Are the blindfolds help them concentrate
Alright.
It's called sensory
Just to make sure they
deprivation.
can't
So
hear.
the less things that they are using their senses, the more they can focus on the video. Got it. It's also so they can't read my lips.
Awesome. It's so cool. Oh yeah, sorry, my fault.
Alright, and we're going to start now. So can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Cameron, turn your volume up, please. Kyle, turn your volume up and leave your spirit box alone.
Okay. All the way up?
As much, wherever you can't hear me.
Wherever I can hear you, okay.
Need help with those two? And you're literally going to set that spirit box on the side once you get a volume that you can.
They may be able to help.
They may be able to help. So we already have something, which means we'll start it at 11:30 exactly. Okay, and reach
Stuff
to-
on the same song.
Should we be telling you everything we hear?
Yes.
Okay.
Turn your volume up.
Here where we are.
Wondering in your spirit.
Okay, everybody needs to tap their family member on the shoulder. You want to tap him. Keep things down.
And here he is.
What?
We just freaked her out.
She's still Cancer. She's
It means you're too loud.
That was too loud. Okay.
too loud. Be lower.
Henry Timrod, if you are here, can you tell us what your occupation is, please?
What?
Henry Timrod.
I can feel it.
Henry Timrod, if you are here, please tell us the name of your occupation. We're going to start things nice and slow.
$2,000.
We
Found this.
07 Junk FM.
Henry Timrod, push through. Tell us what your occupation
Evens
is,
throughout
please.
the entire show.
Henry. Do we have Henry?
All that you suffered, all that you...
Henry, are you actually here? Or is this somebody else?
Here.
Okay, we'll take that. Henry Timrod, can you tell me if you had a son or a daughter, please? Leave those volumes alone.
Trust.
After the storm.
Okay. We want to know if you had a son
No,
or
it's
a daughter.
not.
Hey.
done.
Baby, baby.
Okay. Can you tell me how old the baby was?
Basketball? Basketball coach?
How old was your baby when they unfortunately passed away? We'll
You
take
never-
the number.
Here we are now.
Tell us the number of how many months the baby was. The age.
Below.
We're still looking for
Home
the-
International.
that son or daughter answer. Henry Timrod.
I didn't want.
You didn't want.
Funky Town, the song.
Henry, son or daughter, how old were they when they passed away? 2 questions. Choose one.
My feelings.
That's right.
885.40.
Nope. Henry, try again.
Activity.
White laws.
Do you want us to stop talking about your child? That's a yes/no answer. You brought it up.
It is.
We had a nice conversation about your wife a few weeks ago. You want us to move on to
Is
her?
anyone listening?
We are all
The
listening.
Cubs. 90. 2 month.
The latest.
It's July, but it was in October. What's 90?
That's right.
I don't think we have just Henry
It is.
Timrod here with us tonight. Who else is here? Can you tell us your first name? We're getting other clues that somebody else is here. Matt and Hannah, this is where I told you guys to pay attention. That about the last place. Who else is here with us? We need your first name, please. You're kind of interfering with a conversation between me and Mr. Timrod.
Your search for the perfect.
Yeah.
Classic rock.
Walmart.
Third.
Who else do we have here with Mr. Timrod? Can you tell us what your occupation is? That'll identify you.
The many something.
Tell us your occupation. Any other words showing up over there?
Before that, I got economics and astronomer. That was before the show.
Yeah.
Leo?
It's gonna be enough.
What's the
My
zodiac
future.
sign for July?
Leo's August.
Okay.
Cancer July.
Cancer's most of July.
Sure.
Who else is here with Mr. Timrod before I go back to him? Sounds like you're kind of intruding. Is there a doctor in the house?
Online.
The FDA.
Sorry, this goes really well or really bad.
He just said something, but you couldn't hear it.
He said the FDA.
We're going to ask Henry Timrod to push through back in again, please. I want you to tell us what we normally hear out of the church. What comes out of St. Michael's?
Yeah, they've been around.
What sound do we normally hear out of that?
No.
She's getting emotional. Henry, what sound do we normally get out of the church? It's been 7 minutes already. Just so you guys kind of get the gist of how quickly this moves.
Friends are here.
Saw something here.
Friends here,
are here.
something was here.
It's coming. I don't want to leave.
It's coming. I don't want to leave.
Who's here? Give us a first name, please. We got a lot of these boxes out here. We have folks that can hear you. I already know who you are. You just need to identify yourself and prove the rest of these folks.
Feeling.
He's singing over there.
Thomas.
His name is Thomas.
Thomas. Is that the name?
Years.
Years of what? Oh, sorry.
Let me know if you get the word rose.
I never.
Okay.
Written down.
Oh, thanks for telling us what your occupation is, Henry. You're a little late.
High speed.
High speed
Awesome.
writing down. Can you tell us what you wrote, Henry?
Me personally, I would not even mind disrespect.
You control.
This floor.
What your dad says.
You should stay.
All of these don't leave kind of things.
Yeah.
All say.
That guy?
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Not his first.
His first tour.
Yeah.
It's like you guys were having the conversation. You want to take over?
Everybody that says.
Henry, are you also here with us? If so, I need something a little bit more than yeses and nos. Let's go after.
Hold on to your big sister.
Huh?
Don't get too limited.
She's coming up, and I know.
Can you tell us what your big sister's name was? I know who this is. Jerk. I can't wait for him to identify himself. Come on.
Fight.
Stand alone.
You guys are gonna laugh your ass off when I tell you who
Crisis.
this is.
Alfred Weiss.
I'm holding on to it.
Who?
Go.
What's your sister's name?
Gas promo code.
All of it.
Give me your sister's first name, please. You got any names coming up there? How's the Ouija board coming?
I had DB. Evans.
It's not Deborah.
DBZ.
Dragon Ball Z? Yeah, it was my first one.
DB is part of football. Okay.
Can you tell me what your occupation is? Again, that will identify you. A lot of things, little small things you've been
Oh,
giving us.
would you?
It's almost like you're being the little trickster right now.
I'm in.
Oh, girl.
Who cares?
That was my watch.
When I
Machine.
It's just amazing.
blank.
So they're playing with your watch.
I don't know what the what
Is
it,
it
Quiet.
I don't know what just happened.
Leo.
July?
I believe.
July is Cancer.
Which after July 21st is the
I need July 7th.
Megan.
Is that Evan?
stop by as well.
You stopped by as well. Thank you.
You haven't told the restaurant.
What's the name of the park of where we are? Where are we? Let's just be very clear. I won't try to have you identify yourself. Just tell us where we are.
I see Rich. No, that's not right. For a second, I thought I got -1 degree.
Do you not want to tell us where we are?
On their body.
Great to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you too. Great to not see you.
I got money on your food also.
It's just like everything is doubling up here. It's just so uncanny. So I am going to have to wrap this up. Whoever actually doesn't want to identify themselves as being here, can you tell us goodnight?
Onion.
Look at wrapping. America.
It's a good sign off, right? At least I know I'm free. Henry or Dr. Joseph Ladd, I'm going to say goodnight to both of you. Can you tell us goodnight in return?
This isn't.
We actually asked them to whisper and now we can't hear it.
Trans. Better.
She just said trance, whatever.
Alright, family members, I think it's time to tap them out.
You need to hear.
Tap you out? Alright, so.
No, you're good now.
Yeah.
Do we stop recording?
Yep. Go ahead and stop your video.